What's happening, my people? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people that just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. You don't have to have a channel or a podcast or anything like that. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. That's all. The Boxing Menu Podcast. Miss Cass. Hashtag JBT. Justin James. Hashtag JBT. Mike Masick. Thomas Hill. Hashtag JBT. Man, am I in the right place? All these people in here starting out. I thought I'd ventured into somebody else's podcast. Welcome to another episode of Cat Sports, the Box Historian. Got the mayor of YouTube in here already, taking time out of his busy schedule. We got to run our entire community. Salute Thomas Hill, hashtag JBT, in the building. Mike Masick, Justin James, hashtag JBT, the Boxing Menu Podcast. And of course, Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Salute. Give her a double salute. He's the power behind this Cass Sports organization. How is everybody doing this Wednesday afternoon? Yep, we got Pro Box tonight. There's the voice, Just Do Boxing, in the building. Salute to Just Do Boxing. A couple hours away. He'll be doing his thing right after me. That's who I'm warming you up for. Give a salute to Just Do Boxing, everybody. The voice. Welcome to another episode of Cat Sports, the Box Historian. This is the Wednesday afternoon edition. The old hump day. Everybody doing okay? Halfway through your week. The work week anyway. Yet, we're going to do a little preview on Pro Box today. And the subject for today is fights that got away. We're going to look at some fights that we wanted over the years, we never got, or some fights we got, but they didn't exactly go the way we thought they were going to go, you know. like the Bud and Earls, Monster and the Cool Boy. That's what we're going to be getting into today. Glad to have everybody in the building. Always good to see everyone. Big week, like I told you Monday, a big week planned. Remember, tomorrow is the Fix event. I got a group of fights that the Fix was definitely in on. Like when the mob was running things. Might be still running it. Who knows? You got the Bob Father. I'm not saying Bob Father's in the mob now. But I'm just saying, he's the Bob Father. And Friday is going to be, this is our first week where we're going to do the profiles every week, once a week on Friday. And it's going to be Joe Dixon this week, the first Black boxing champion. Nope, it's not Jack Johnson, like a lot of people think. Jack Johnson was the first Black heavyweight champion. Joe Dixon was the first Black champion. And as a matter of fact, Joe Dixon was the first Black athlete to win any kind of championship in sports, okay? Like in the 1890s. It might have been 1896 to be exact, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, Joe Dixon. We're going to go a little in depth on him Friday, his life and career. In this sport we love called boxing. Yeah. That's how we do it over here at Cast Sports. Everything boxing. History. Not just history. Boxing styles, and we talk about promotional companies and sanctioning bodies and referees and judges and everything. Get it all. Because the main part is when the two men or the two women get in the ring and get it on. But that's just part of it. Okay, it's a whole lot more goes into a boxing match than that. That's where I come in at. I give you the rest. Yeah. Appreciate you, Justin James. How's everybody doing, though? I usually wait till about 2:30 to get into the subject of the show. Give a few more of my people time to come in here. We're going to start in about 10 minutes. Yeah. But boxing is looking good. We got this weekend, I think it's, is it the Oscar Valdez card this weekend? No, I think that's later on in the month. Oh, it's Maxie Priest and William Zepeda. I think that's this Saturday, yeah. Yeah, Maxie Priest. They rewarded him with a good opponent because they know he deserved the Loma fight because, he beat Kambosos. Remember when they cheated? They already had Loma and Kambosos arranged, so they had to have Kambosos win it. But Maxie Priest watched it. Had Kambosos missing. He was piecing him up with that southpaw jab. I had Maxie Priest. I gave Kambosos about 2 rounds. But Kambosos and Loma, I don't give Kambosos a snowball's chance in hell of beating Loma. There's levels to this, man. I don't even give him a puncher's chance. Loma's going to watch him. Box circles around him. But that's our sport. Boxing. That's how it is. We love it. We're going to support it and go along with all the nonsense they give us. But it's looking good. We're still waiting for the Face of Boxing to get on the schedule. So along with all the fights we got on there, that'll be a very attractive fight added to the schedule. The Quote, haven't got her yet. I don't know if it's official, but they were talking about Boots and Cody Crowley on the Cinco de Mayo card. under Canelo, co-main for Canelo and Jaime. Or Shakur, right, Justin? You're like, okay. See Tank fight Loma. Yeah, that would be a good one. I've always wanted that one, Justin. Loma and Tank. Yeah. I've always wanted that. Now, see, Loma, people always say, well, Loma was calling out Tank, but Loma was calling out Tank when he knew he couldn't get the fight. He knew Floyd wasn't going to make it. But since Tank got away from Floyd, I haven't heard Loma say Tank's name not one time. So that's a disingenuous argument when you say, when people talk about Loma was calling out Tank. Sure, you call out a fighter when you know the fight's not going to be made. Call him out now, Loma. Put it in the chat. Y'all remember that? Put it in the chat. Me and boxing dudes pissed me off, man. They're talking about Tank was ducking Loma. No. I had to check in on that one. But yeah, I would like to see that, Justin. Yeah, Loma or Shakur. Good point. Either one of them would be good. Tank and Shakur would probably be the best one. Of all the fighters in lightweight, I would give Shakur the best chance against Tank. I'm not saying he beats him, Tank, but I'm saying I would give Shakur the best chance of actually doing it, with that slick style, defensive style, and a good offensive fighter too, So yeah, that would be a good fight. That would probably be the one I would want to see, Tank and Shakur. Yeah, we might see it eventually. We might see it. That would be a good fight. Yeah. Remind me of that fire interview Sunday. Just Do had Shakur on the channel. And as I understand it, that was just part one. I missed Just Do yesterday. I was doing something. I don't think I missed part 2 yet, though. I hope not. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Fire stuff, man. Fire stuff. Yeah. In this JBT community. Yeah, that's what we're going to do today, though. We're going to talk about some fights that the ones that got away. Like Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis. Floyd Manny. We got it, but we didn't get it when we wanted it. Like I was saying the other day, we wanted Manny and Pretty Boy. Okay. That's the one I wanted, back when Floyd was Pretty Boy. 09, 2010, around in there. He was money made by the time we actually got that fight. I think either version of Floyd beats Manny. But that's just the version I wanted to see, the Pretty Boy version. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that was the drug tests and the scared of needles and all that situation. What's going on then, Man, scared of needles, but got his whole body covered with tattoos. Go figure. But Freddie Roach said it wasn't actually the needle part. It was just seeing his blood going into the needle, right? I guess you don't see, I never had a tattoo. But I guess you don't see your blood going into the needle when you get a tattoo, huh? Yeah. But we got it. I'm glad they stopped talking that nonsense about Floyd and Manny now. They didn't give us a fight when we wanted it, and then they're talking about fighting up in the 40s. Who the hell wants to see them now? Get out of here. Ain't that crazy? We wanted to see him in 2010, 2009. Now they want to fight in 2024 when they both damn near 50. I wouldn't even watch that. They would have to pay me to watch that. Two old fossils. There's a little flack about the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul thing. Something about a few years back, Mike was doing some mitt work or something. Said he ended up in bed for like 3 days or something after the mitt work. I got a lot of activity going on in the chat there. Let me see what's going on out there. I know the mayor got a lot to say. T. Hill says he would love to see the Shakira versus Loma fight. Yeah, that one too. But Bob ain't make it. No, Bob ain't making that. You're right, T. Hill. Bob ain't trying to get Loma no more losses right now. You know, I don't think he can beat Shakira. No way. And yeah, the fights we want to see, we still not getting them, man. You know, it just ain't happening, man. Everybody is so enamored with that O, and you know, they scared once you lose that O, the value goes down or something. You know, the bag value or something. I don't know. It's not true though. It's not true. It's how you come back from the O. It's not losing the O. How do you bounce back from it? You know? You got to take that O and keep on going. That's not the end of the world, like these guys think. I hope so, Justin. I hope so. Yeah. I hope it's no kind of agreement, no knockout agreement or any kind of nonsense, like Floyd did. Floyd carried Logan Paul for 8 rounds. When they had him almost knocked out, he almost had him on his back, making sure he made it through the round. I hope Mike doesn't do that, man. And then after Floyd carried Logan for 8 rounds, Logan going to brag after the fight about going the distance with him. That's why you don't do that nonsense. Get in there and knock him out. Remember? Logan and Jake bragging about, oh, my brother went the distance with Floyd Mayweather. When Floyd let him go the distance. Don't do that. I hope Mike doesn't do that, man. Get in there and beat Mike Tyson. We do not want to see you and Jake Paul in there dancing around the ring for 8 rounds. So Jake Paul can come out bragging about going the distance with Mike Tyson when it was arranged. The only way he goes the distance with Mike, it has to be arranged that way. I don't want that to happen, you know. But them Pauls got a lot of money, and I see them doing that, you know. Giving Mike extra to no knockout clause in it, in the contract. That's the small print. Way down at the bottom, you need a magnifying glass to read. No knockout clause. Yeah. And then they brag about going the distance with these fighters after the fighter lets them. It's crazy, man. It's just crazy. We're going to start in about 5 minutes. Yeah. But everybody okay this hump day? Pro Box tonight. Life is good. Pro Box will be every week eventually. They're growing. Yeah. And one day. They got a couple of veterans on there tonight. I'm going to tell you about them. One of the guys fought Bivol. One of the guys even fought Andre Ward. Now that's a veteran, right? When it goes that far back, you're 2 light heavyweights. Both of them got some pretty good resumes. Yeah. I'm going to tell you about them. Yeah. And it's for the WBA North American title or something like that. Whatever it is, whoever gets it have to pay sanctioning fees. That's why they got all these titles. Like the show we had yesterday when we went over the rankings. The Association of Boxing Commissions had the criteria set where we won't have all these interims and regulars and supers and all that kind of nonsense, but the sanctioning bodies won't follow that criteria, you know? They have it set where it shouldn't be anything as a mandatory or interim or anything. The top fighters fight. The winner fight the champion. There's your champion. Why you need a mandatory for? Like super middleweight with the men. I don't know if it's still like this, but I remember they had Morel and Benavidez was like regular and interim, Canelo super. But the thing is that each time one of them fight, some sanctioning body got your hand in their bag. They don't want one champion, okay? Like yesterday, I showed you, the Association of Boxing Commission have it set up where we can get rid of all these interims and regulars and all this nonsense, but the sanctioning bodies don't want to get rid of them. That's more money. The WBC even started another weight division, bridger weight. Like we needed another weight division. but they needed more sanctioning fees. See, that's the thing. But what can you do? We're just fans. We don't have any say. I mean, if we had say in it, the sport would be 100% better, you know. But we can still complain about it, right? You know, even though no changes will be made, but we can still complain. Right, T Hill? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to get into these pro box first, and then these fights. The ones that got away. Some of them are fights that we wanted rematches for, but the rematch never materialized. One fight we wanted to fight, but one of the guys went to prison, killed his wife. Good fighter too, and then he killed himself while he was in jail. So that's one that definitely got away. Wow, why'd the killer just leave her, man? You know, that's crazy. Okay, let's get ready to do it. We're going to talk about pro box first. Okay. From the pro box is always at the White Sands Event Center in Plant City, Florida. I think Remo or somebody told me that's near, I forgot what he said. Central Florida, something like that. But yeah, Plant City. Okay. Got one of these names. I think it's Radovaj Kalazic. I'm gonna put it in there. Okay, he's the this is the main event. Give me a minute. But everybody okay? This Wednesday, halfway through the week. Lonnie Lee will be in here. In a minute, he's getting ready. He might be off work or he's getting ready to get off. Joins us on his way home at the red lights, texting. Know about that red light texting? Bear with me. Give me one moment, please. Be right with you. We getting ready to get into the pro box. Couple fights on pro box, and then we're gonna get into the show. Beautiful weather up here today. It's like in the 60s in Baltimore today. Spring is in the air. There he is. That's him. Radovaj Kalazic, something like that. Anyway, he's fighting against Sullivan Barrera, right? Radovaj comes in 28-2 with 20 knockouts. Sullivan comes in at 22-4 with 14 knockouts. And this fight is for the WBA Continental North American light heavyweight title. Okay? Continental North American light heavyweight title on the line in this fight. Okay. Now, this fight will be the highlight of the event and promises plenty of action between two veteran fighters looking to make a statement. Kalazic is a native of Serbia. Okay. But he's settled in the United States now and spent much of his career in this country. 32 years old, comes in with 4 wins in a row, right? And he hasn't lost since 2019, okay? And his last loss came against none other than Artur Beterbiev. Told you, both of these fighters got pretty good resumes. Yep. Last loss against Beterbiev. Now, Barrera, for his part, He's very well known in the boxing world, okay? He's 42 years old, right? He's the one that actually fought Andre Ward, so he had to have some age on him, you know? He's a Cuban fighter. Now he's going through a little rough stretch right now, coming off of 2 losses in a row. But they're up against high-level opponents. Roberto Ramirez, Zerdo, and Jesse Hart. Those last 2 losses are against him. He's been in the ring with Dimitri Bivol and, like I said, Andre Ward. So he's definitely a veteran, 42 years old. And that shows his experience, right? Good resume. That's the main event. And the co-main is Lucas Santamaria. He comes with 14 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 7 knockouts. That's 50%. 7 knockouts, 14 wins. Nicholas Flats. That's who he's fighting. Nicholas is 11-2 with 7 knockouts also. They're welterweights, and this is 10 rounds. Okay. The other fight is a championship fight, so it's 12. This one is 10, 147 division. Now, the stats suggest that Flats has advantages in power over Santamaria. And he also has a 3-inch reach advantage. Both fight out of the orthodox stance. Now, Santamaria is the more experienced of the two. He has 5 more fights. He made his debut in 2015, right? Just 5 months earlier than Flats, right? Okay, who also made his debut in 2015. Now, Santamaria has 55 more rounds than Flats. Okay, and that's the co-main. That is the co-main event. So let's get into what the show is about today. Okay, the ones that got away. Right? Now, boxing, by its very nature, is a sport of heartache and disappointment. Don't we know it? We're just talking about all the fights we're not getting, right? Boxing is definitely the heart of sport of heartache and disappointment. He's just talking about how we want Loma Shakur, Tank Shakur, you know. Okay, more than any other sport, right? It's sadistically toys with us fans. Ain't that the truth? Raising expectations, and then, as often as not, dashing expectations. Right? Raising our expectations, and then the next thing you know, they dashing them. Dashing all the excitement and anticipation to smithereens on the jagged rocks of fate. Now, lacking structure or even a semblance of authority, the most promising fights so often simply fail to be. Let me say that again. Lacking structure or even a semblance of authority, the most promising fights so often simply fail to be. Everybody want to be the chief in boxing. You got the sanctioning bodies, the promotional companies, the state boxing commissions. Everybody want to do their own thing, you know? Got to have some kind of little more structure than that. Why we not getting these fights? So let's reflect on some instances of what we might call fight fan heartache and remind ourselves that, like it or not, this is just how it goes in the chaotic enterprise called the fight game. Here are 17 fights that never happened. Or if they happened, they were very disappointing. Not the way we thought they were going to go. All of them speaking to boxing's inability to fulfill its true potential. Some lessons to be learned here, though it would be foolish to expect different in the future, right? But, as all true fight fans know, hope does indeed spring eternal. Now, we remember last summer we had the week that was. Remember that week in July? Last week in July, we had those 2 fights. High anticipation. One of them we waited for years, remember? Both of them ended up being one-sided beatdowns. So let's look at the week that was. First, oh, wait a minute. I got a little presentation for you. But first, we're going to talk about Naoya Inoue versus Stephen Fulton. Okay? I'm going to turn that down a notch. I was listening to the playback yesterday, and it was kind of loud. I was like, damn, Cass, you hear the people with the loud music blaring. Sorry about that. Okay, the week that was, that's what I call it. First up, Naoya Inoue and Stephen Fulton. We all know what happened. I'm just going to review, that's all. Because I got 17 fights here. The boxing just keeps toying with us, man. But we love it, you know? It's our sport. Okay. What am I doing? I'm trying to get this picture up there. Where is it? It should be the last one. Because I just made it. There we go. First fight is Naoya Inoue and Stephen Fulton. There you go. Okay. Now. Okay. This fight was Naoya Inoue came in at 25-0, 24-0, 22 knockouts. That's right around that, a little below 90% knockout rate, right? And he scored the most emphatic victory of his increasingly legendary career by becoming a world champion in a fourth division, following an 8th round TKO of Fulton, who came in at 21-0, 8 knockouts. Somebody's O had to go in that fight, remember? Somebody's O went. And he knocked out an 8th round TKO to commandeer the WBC and WBO super bantamweight titles from Fulton. That's what was on the line. The fight was a surprising one-sided beatdown from start to finish, as Tokyo's Ariake Arena granted Inoue a hero's welcome before the fight. And Inoue immediately got to work with his sublime and powerful jab. The variety of his left lead was fundamental to Inoue's dominance of the fight. Fulton had no response, and his plan of trying to establish himself in center ring quickly went up in smoke, as Inoue demonstrated his chilling power from both hands to the head and body. And he opened up a wide lead on the scorecards, right? Now, as the fight got into the middle rounds, Fulton realized he had to open up some, right? And that proved to be his undoing. Now, fittingly, Inoue's jab to the body laid the groundwork to a spectacular finish. It was brutal, man. And when he hit him with that stab jab to the body, Cool Boy folded slightly after the jab, right? Leaving him open to a brutal right cross to the jaw. Remember that? That left Cool Boy scrambled and defenseless. And then a signature Inoue left hook dumped him on the canvas. Now, Fulton bravely got up. He got up. I don't know why. But then he had no response to the follow-up attack from Inoue. And the referee stepped in, saved Cool Boy from being knocked out cold. Because that was what was about to happen. We all know it. And I was team Cool Boy for that one. But hey, you got to give credit where credit is due. That ending sequence, I felt that all the way from Japan, man. Stab jab to the body, right cross, left hook. That was all she wrote. Okay. Then the second fight. And so then, you know, we was disappointed. Well, Monster fans wasn't disappointed. But really, we was expecting a lot more competitive and better fight. But we were saying to each other, well, we got Bud and Earl Saturday, so no way that's going to be like this. That Bud and Earl is going to be a very competitive fight. So we're going to get a good fight out of one of them. That's what we were saying. But Saturday came and lightning struck twice. Remember? So it was Crawford came in 39-0 with 31 KOs. Earl came in at 28-0, 22 KOs. Once again, somebody's O had to go and somebody's O went. This was for the welterweight undisputed championship of the world. Now, anticipated as arguably the biggest and most important fight of the era, right? This era right now we're in. You know, that fight was arguably the biggest and most important fight of this era to date. Okay. Crawford dominated almost every second of the fight before scoring a 9th round TKO to become the first man to ever achieve undisputed status in 2 weight divisions in the 4-belt era. Right? Now, he said it was the Terrence Crawford era, and he proved it with one of the most dominant performances of his stellar career. It was a brutal beating, an exhibition of power and poise that set a shockwave through the boxing world. Yes, it did. And it left Crawford approaching all-time status after that fight. But that's the understatement, sent a shockwave through the boxing world. I don't think anybody honestly expected that, even Bud Crawford fans. A lot of Crawford fans were predicting him to win, but they didn't expect that, man. They might say they did now that it happened, but honestly, no. Nobody expected that. There's Lonnie Lee. I told you he was on the way. Remember? About 5 minutes ago, I said Lonnie Lee is either off work or he's getting ready to get off. And there he is. Salute, Lonnie Lee. We done made it through the hump day. It's all downhill now. All over but the shelter. We are talking today about disappointing fights we didn't get or fights we got that were surprising and disappointing. Well, those two weren't disappointing to Monster and Bud fans, right? But yeah, just sent shockwaves through the world, went through the boxing universe when Bud did that to Earl. Okay, but I'm not finished. Kind of lost my place. But I went to write Lonnie's name now, but I'm gonna find it. Okay. Shockwave. Here we go, right here. Now that fight left Crawford approaching all-time status. Now, if he would have went up there and beat Canelo at 68. You got to start talking to him with Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson, all of them, but he didn't do it. That fight never materialized. But if he could have did that. Now, the long-awaited showdown between Crawford and Spence ended up being a brutal domination as Crawford knocked Spence down 3 times and finished the fight in dominant fashion with the 9th round TKO. Now, Spence tried to use his powerful jab to set the tone, but Crawford was fully prepared for everything Spence attempted. Spence got caught in between punches in just the 2nd round and was sent to the canvas by a Crawford counter. And it all went downhill from there for Spence. It all went downhill. Crawford dumped Spence on the mat again in round 7. And by that point, it was all but over. Spence's determination and his guts and heart and stuff was the only thing keeping the fight going at that point. Now, Spence gradually tried to fight back, but to no avail. And in round 9, he was sent to the canvas again. Following that knockdown, after a series of Crawford power shots, referee stepped in and stopped it, just like the other one. And the week that was a crazy week. Nobody expected that. Nobody. Now, okay, we got like 15 more fights. These are older fights, back further. You know, those were just the 2 recent ones that very surprising. Oh, you get over there. Okay. Everybody okay? This what is it? Wednesday? The hump day. Lonnie Lee's in the building now. Salute. Good afternoon, Lonnie Lee. Okay. Oh man, you know what? I went all the way through the Bud fight and didn't even put them up there. There they go. Better late than never. There they are. Bud and Earl. Get on your game, Cass. Okay. Now the next one is oh man, what is this going on here? Come on, get off of here. There we go. Lennox Lewis versus Riddick Bowe. That's one we didn't get. Remember the belt in the trash can incident? Who will forget that one? Bowe threw the belt in the trash. There they go. Yeah, I know everybody heard of that one. Yeah, okay. Lennox Lewis versus Riddick Bowe. Let's talk about it. This is surely the most infamous heavyweight non-event of recent times. Now, Lewis had stopped Bowe in the 1988 Olympic final, gold medal match, right? And by the early 90s, the two appeared to be on a collision course. You know, once they turned pro, it looked like they were definitely going to fight. But after Lewis destroyed Razor Ruddock in 2 rounds, and Bowe took the undisputed championship from Holyfield, Bowe's team made an extortionate 90-10 purse split demand. Now, that's just a way of getting out of a fight, you know. Lennox Lewis and Riddick Bowe. Why would Bowe deserve a 90-10 purse split? That's called pricing yourself out. Showed he didn't really want to fight. But anyway, Bowe's team made a 90-10 purse split demand. And of course, Lewis refused. And Bowe dumped his WBC belt in a trash can. Remember? Anybody that didn't live through that, I know you heard about it. But yeah, that was just in early 2000, somewhere around there. But anyway, Bowe's team made the 90-10 purse split demand. Lewis' team, of course, refused. Bowe dumped the WBC belt in the trash. And then later, they was getting ready to plan another fight. Lewis got upset by Oliver McCall. Remember that? So that messed up the next fight between them. And then it was killed for good. Bowe retired after he lost against Andrew Galata. That was in the 90s, in 1996. So they killed off the fight for good. Yeah. So that was one that was highly anticipated. Fought in the Olympics. Both was doing very well in the pros. Just knew it was going to happen. But it didn't. And Bowe clearly didn't want it. He threw the belt in he made a 90-10 purse split. Why would you deserve 90% and Lewis only 10? They didn't even have a good reason for that. The reason had to be he didn't want to fight. That was just as much as saying, I'm not fighting you, right? 90-10 purse split. Come on, man. Who would agree to that? Lennox Lewis definitely wasn't. The next one was Roy Jones Jr. versus Darius Michalczewski. Okay. There they go. Roy Jones Jr. Darius Michalczewski. Now, there are 2 types of boxing fans. Those who refer to Roy Jones as a former undisputed light heavyweight champion, and those that know he never really was. Right? Kind of like the people they call T.O. undisputed, and the ones that know he never was undisputed. Despite being the world's best pound-for-pound boxer at that time, Roy Jones' reluctance to travel abroad after his dreadful Olympic experience in Korea, combined with Michael Zuski's contentment to defend his lineal crown only in Germany, okay, meant the American never actually faced his most significant rival, okay? Roy Jones refused to go overseas and fight. Michael Zuski refused to come out of Germany and fight. So something would have had to give. Why didn't they just meet in a neutral place? But Michael Zuski wouldn't come to the United States and fight, and Roy wouldn't leave out of the United States and fight. So never got that one. That should put it in a pretty good fight. While few would have picked against a peak Roy Jones at that time, a win still would have cemented his status as the best light heavyweight on the planet. But he never fought Michael Zuski, so, can't really say that. Now, he's a Hall of Famer, always thought of as a great fighter, but that fight is missing on his record. See? That's why I'm glad that Bud and Earl, see how we talk about that fight? Never happened. Years later, that's how Bud and Earl would have been if they had never fought. Floyd and Manny. You got to get them fights in. Because no matter how great you are, Hall of Famer, that's always glaring. If you got two opponents like that and they never fight, and everybody knows they should have. Next is Felix Trinidad Ike Corte. Felix Trinidad Ike Corte. Now, for several years, Tito Trinidad and Bazooka Corte were both undefeated champions in a stacked 90s welterweight division. Yeah, it was stacked back then in the 90s. Ooh-wee. Now, both could box, and both of them had power, with Corte carrying one of the best jabs in boxing at that time. And everybody knows about Trinidad's left hook. That thing was devastating. Okay? So it's easy to imagine those two styles blending in this fight to produce a top flight contest of technical skill and explosive punching. It would have been fascinating to see who might have prevailed in this fight. But sadly, despite the fight almost being made at one point, politics and Don King meant it never came to fruition. Politics and Don King. Don King's still promoting too, right? Oh, there we go. Bruce Gass is in the building. BN Boxing News in the building. Salute to Bruce Gass and BN Boxing News has entered the building. Bruce Gass, winner of the inaugural Cass Sports test, won a laptop. Must don't have it yet because he didn't say nothing. But I know he will let me know. It's on the way, Bruce Gass. Beautiful laptop. It almost was sitting here on my desk. And this one here was almost in that box. No, I'm just kidding. But salute to Bruce Gass and BN Boxing News. Okay. Next up is Juan Manuel Marquez versus Eric Morales. Okay. Gotta come down a little. There we go. Juan Manuel Marquez and Eric Morales. Shoot, went down too far. Everybody okay today, though? Beautiful weather. It's beautiful outside. Okay. Manuel Marquez versus Eric Morales. Now, the spectacular Barrera, Morales, Pacquiao, Marquez round robin delivered some absolute classics. Bruce Gas can tell you about those. Barrera, Morales, Pacquiao, Marquez. What did I do? Round robin produced some spectacular fights. Yeah, classics. And the Mexican Civil War would almost certainly have added another one to the collection. Although their careers did overlap, their respective peaks didn't quite match up, right? While Morales was blazing a trail in the late 90s, Marquez was just struggling to gain recognition at that time. And by the time Marquez was really hitting his stride, Marquez's career was winding down. So, yeah, they was in the same era, but not really in the same era, you know, like that at different ends of the era, you know. Like I just said, when Morales was going strong at his peak, Marquez was just getting started, you know. And then by the time Marquez was going good at his peak, Morales was winding down. So if they had fought at either one of those points, it wouldn't really have been the fight that, you know, it wouldn't have been prime versus prime. That's what I'm trying to say. Right? Yeah. Juan Manuel Marquez. But it's a good thought. Good dream fight, you know. Okay. Next up is Manny Pacquiao versus Edwin Valero. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This fight, he killed his wife and committed suicide. Valero did while in police custody. Right? Manny Pacquiao versus Edwin Valero. Yeah. Give me for 1 second, please. Had to take a drink. How is everybody today, though? Day going good. It's Wednesday. Glad to see you over here in the JBT with Cast Sports, the box historian. Don't forget, tomorrow we got the fix is in. I got a group of fights where the fix was definitely in on them, you know. Yeah, and the mob was in the thick of things of boxing back then. And some say they still are, but I don't know. That's a conversation for another day. I did a show on the Mafia and boxing a while back, and I'm going to do it again. And, you know, because everybody didn't see it, and, you know, in a little bit more detail this time. Because it was like back when I first started, like way back last year sometime. So maybe next week, yeah, we'll do that Mafia show again. But I don't know. Yeah, they're not gonna bother Cast Sports. I'm just trying to entertain my people. Okay, but next up is let's say Manny Pacquiao and Edwin Valero, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, we got plenty of time. It's just 3:00. Okay, I might drop the link early today. Okay. Now, stories of how well Valero acquitted himself in the gym versus some of the world's best fighters he was in Venezuela, fueled the Venezuelans' almost mythical reputation. And his perfect knockout record further bolstered his image as one of boxing's most formidable forces. Meanwhile, Manny was tearing through every division, from featherweight to welterweight. That's at that time, we always talk about how Manny went through 8 divisions. That was the time when he was doing it. When he was coming through all those divisions. He was tearing through them, man. Bruce Gas can tell you. Yeah, man, he was just running through everything, man. I know y'all always hear they didn't live through that period here about how Manny went through 8 divisions, but this is the time he was doing it. You know. Yeah, Manny was tearing through every division at that time, and Valero had a perfect knockout record, so that would have been quite a matchup. And Manny's run actually, when he was going through those divisions, was probably the most impressive run in the modern era. To tell you the truth. Now, with Valero steadily climbing the weight classes behind Manny, and an explosive meeting between the two was almost inevitable, right? We just knew we was going to get that fight. Manny Pacquiao and Evan Valero, everybody was like, yeah, that's coming, it's coming. No way he can't fight, right? That's what we thought. But that's how boxing, like I was saying, boxing is, you know, build us up and then break us, tear us down, okay? We thought we was going to get that fight until Valero murdered his wife in 2010. Then committed suicide while in police custody. Tragic situation. Now, you think about Manny and Marquez. The question is, would Valero and Pacquiao been even better than that? It had the potential. It had that kind of potential. D for the win in the building. What's up, D for the win? Yeah. Remember the Manny Pacquiao and Marquez fights? That's the kind of potential. If Valero wouldn't have did what he did, him and Manny would have had that type of potential to be that kind of fight. Yeah. Or those kind of fights. Yeah. But salute the D for the win. Welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, the Boxtorian. Just going through some fights that the ones that got away. We thought we were going to get, but you know, it never materialized. Or we got some, should have got the rematch, didn't get the rematch. You know, talk about how boxing does us, but we love it. But that's just how boxing does us. Next up is Oscar. All right. Oscar De La Hoya versus Felix Trinidad. Okay. Now that's one we got. We wanted the rematch on that one, though. Okay. On paper, Oscar versus Tito was a dream super fight. But after weeks of anticipation and hype, neither man rose to the occasion, right? That was one of the ones we got, but, you know, it wasn't what we thought we was going to get. In addition to the tepid action, controversy over the judge's verdict only compounded the sense of disappointment. Now, a rematch at 154 would have helped settle the argument. And it probably would have given us a much more entertaining scrap. But the fact that it never happened is an absolute travesty. And I guarantee you, both of them look back at that time and wish they would have got their fight in. But it was a beef over the purse split that kept us from getting that fight. Yeah. Letting personal pride over the purse split take precedence over giving boxing a fight to remember. And they owed us that after that BS first fight they had, man, you know. Yeah. But it never happened. Oscar and Felix Trinidad too. Never happened. Okay. Next up on the list is Oscar and Felix old fans a rematch. Pernell Whitaker versus Julio Cesar Chavez. That's another one we got. But wanted the rematch. Pernell Whitaker and Julio Cesar Chavez. right? The robbery. Now, the word robbery gets thrown around a lot in boxing. Most of the time, it's not really a robbery. But this one, that was a robbery, okay? Two all-time greats, Hall of Famers. The whole world saw Pernell Whitaker outbox. They both were championships. Outbox Julio Cesar Chavez over 12 rounds. Clearly, 1993. And the judges called it a draw. But, although it was a draw, it still cemented Whitaker's status as the best boxer on the planet, pound for pound. Because everybody knows who won that. And the verdict was baffling, man. And what's more baffling is they never had a rematch. They never had a rematch. That's crazy. I never understood that. A draw, two champions like that should have been like an instant automatic rematch, man. No belts changed hands, nothing was settled. That's like this undisputed fight we got coming up, Fury and Usyk. Picture them having a draw and then never having a rematch. That's what this situation was like, Two champions. I mean, two legendary champions. They was legendary at that time and they were still fighting. People have been waiting for this fight. Sweet Pea and Julio Cesar Chavez. Then they fight to a draw and no rematch. That was crazy. But it happened. That's what I'm talking about, man. How boxing just always dash our hopes. Always. But yeah, anybody who saw that fight, Whitaker clearly got the best of Chavez in that one. Yeah. Chavez definitely got a gift that time. He got a few gifts. Like when Richard Steele stopped the fight with 2 seconds left. That was another gift. Okay, next is Marco Antonio Barrera versus Prince Nassim Hamed. Can't forget that. Prince Nassim Hamed. Yeah. There you go. Oh, no. That's Eubank and Ben, yeah. Ain't it? Yeah, that's the one I was talking about right there. Eubank and Ben is next. Seniors, Eubank and Ben. The fathers. Because the sons never fought because Conor Ben was trying to kill Chris Eubanks. He had so much stuff up in him, pregnancy medicine. And damn, I'm glad they didn't have that fight. Plus, he had the man under rehydration clause. He had every illegal substance you could put in your body in there. He was trying to do some damage to Chris Eubank. Wow. I'm glad they didn't have that fight, man. That could have been bad for Eubanks. Seriously. Okay. Marco Antonio Barrera versus Prince Nassim Hamed. Now, a lot of people was happy that Prince Nassim got humbled by Barrera, because he was real cocky, man. He used to have some serious ring walks, man. He rode a motorcycle down there one time. All kind of stuff. He did lavish costumes and stuff. Yeah. Very cocky fighter. A lot of people because Barrera put something on him. Cocky, trash talker. And for a long time, he backed it up, right? But he met his match when he got in there against Barrera. Yeah. But right after the fight, Hamed promised he gonna come back and beat him, right? Right after the fight. That's what he said. But it never happened. Never happened. And for a lot of his fans that have followed him not doing the rematch was even worse than the beating he got, you know? But he didn't want his get back. And instead of invoking his rematch clause, he had a rematch clause, but instead of invoking it, he took a year off from boxing. Yeah. Made one comeback, looked bad in that one again, looked awful in the comeback, and then faded into obscurity. You know? Just walked away from the sport. Now here's the one, Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn, the third. Oh. Nigel Benn the third. Okay. Chris Eubank Sr. Senior. Well, just Chris Eubank. Junior is junior, but he's not a senior. Okay, there they go. All right. Chris Eubank versus Nigel Benn III. Now, after Eubank stopped Benn in a titanic struggle at 160 pounds in 1990. Now, they did have a rematch 3 years later. Okay, at super middleweight. They went up a weight division. Now, this was a unification fight in front of 50,000 people, okay? Over there, I guess it was over in the UK. Now, at the end of another engrossing struggle, most thought Eubank lucky to earn a draw, okay? Now, Eubank had and you know, there was a unification fight, so the draw, he kept his belt, right? Benn was devastated. So, everybody wanted a third fight between them, right? Now, a third fight would have been epic. And it looked like a no-brainer, you know, but it never came off. Nope. Now, they fought years later, but they was both past their prime and everything, and it was entertaining TV, but it wasn't nothing like if they would have had that third fight when they were supposed to have it, you know? Yeah. They did have a third fight, but it wasn't. It was years later. It wasn't when it was supposed to be. Okay? Yeah. Next up is Roy Jones and James Toney. The Uncivil War. Remember that? The Uncivil War. Roy Jones versus James Toney. Lights out. That's the answer, boy, there, James Toney. Yup. And he ain't even been here. Might be listening. There's your guy, Ant, if you're listening. JT. The Uncivil War. Okay? Roy Jones, James Toney. Everybody okay? Now, when they met in 1994, Toney was the IBF 168-pound champion. And he was regarded as one of the best fighters in the world. Okay, 1994. Yet Jones made his unanimous decision victory look easy against Toney. Yeah. I watched that one a few weeks back. I saw it when it happened. I watched it again a few weeks back. Yeah, Jones made it look easy. You know? Excuse me. Some experts said that Toney's lack of discipline in a subsequent battle with the scales, you know, had weight problems, cost him the fight. And after that fight, Toney's career kind of stagnated, and Jones excelled. They went in different directions. Yeah, after that one, he most certainly did. By 2003, okay, 9 years later, Jones had claimed the version of the heavyweight title. Now Tony was back in form by then. He had went to cruiserweight and won the championship up there at cruiserweight. Yeah, that's when a rematch would have been fascinating around that time, right? After they both had moved up in weight, Tony had got himself back in form. People started talking about a rematch, but it never materialized because Jones went back down to 175. Okay, that's when he went down and got knocked out by Antonio Tarver. Lost his titles and his aura of invincibility, right? But yeah, right then would have been when they should have had the rematch between Tony and Roy Jones, right around the early 2000s, because they first fought in the early 90s. And then remember, I said they went in different directions. Jones' career took off, and Tony kind of stagnated. He was having weight problems, and But by early 2000s, Tony had got it back together. They both had moved up in weight. That would have been an excellent time for them to fight. But Jones went down to 175 and got knocked out by Tarver and never was the same after that. His aura invincibility was gone. History. Tarver sparked him too. I know y'all done watched that. All right. Now this is right fight, wrong time. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. Right fight, wrong time. Bang. Right fight, wrong time. Floyd and Manny. We wanted, like I said, we wanted Manny and Pretty Boy. Like 09, 10. Not Manny and Money May in 2015. When was it, 15 or 16? 15, right? Yeah. Yeah, we wanted it earlier than that, though. The Pretty Boy version of Floyd. I think either version beats Manny, but 07, 09, 010-ish, right in there. When they was having the drug test issues and all that kind of stuff. Which one, T, for the win? Tony and Barkley? Tony and Iran Barkley? Yeah, that was the good one, too. Yeah. Okay, right fight, wrong time. That says it perfectly. Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. In late 2009, Pacquiao stopped Miguel Cotto to earn a 7th divisional title. Okay? He was going through the divisions back around that time. That was his 7th divisional title and wide recognition as the fighter of the decade. Okay? Yeah, Manny got that 2000 to 2010. Now, his only competition for a title of the world's best boxer was from Floyd Mayweather, the former pound-for-pound king, who Floyd was just coming from a mini retirement at that time, right? Now, a fight in early 2000, like I was saying, a fight in early 2010 was the perfect match at the perfect time, rivaling any in modern history in terms of pure pugilistic pedigree. Yes, Floyd and Manny in 2010. You can't think of too many fights in the last 50 years that would have been more better and high profile than that. You probably got to go all the way back to Leonard Hearns in the 80s to match that. Okay? But it didn't happen. Never happened. But, after Pacquiao refused to cave to Mayweather's drug testing demands, it sparked years of finger pointing and tiresome rounds of he said, she said. That's exactly what it was in the media between the two camps. Now, when they finally met in 2015, it was better late than never. But the fight itself was missing both action and the drama it would have had in 2010. And that is so true. 2010, Floyd and Manny That's probably one of the best fights ever. It probably would have been better. It definitely would have been better. I don't know. Floyd might have did the same thing. But it would have been a more high-profile fight at that time because Manny had fell off a little by 2015. 2010, he was arguably being called the fighter of the entire decade at that point. He was not still at that level in 2015, no. But it never happened. That's why I call this today Fights That Got Away. That's one of the biggest ones in the whole program there. Not getting that one when, we should have got it. And then remember they was talking about last year fighting damn near 50. Didn't give us the fight in 2010 when we wanted. Now they're going to give it to us when they're damn near 50. That's the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard in my life. They would have had to pay me to watch that. Boy, they're Manny now. Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson is next. Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson. Yeah, boy, they're Manny. Go for almost 50 years old. Okay, D for the win. Yeah, Barkley and Tony. Yeah, because Roy Jones never fought him. Yeah, I should have known what you were talking about. Yeah, that was a good fight too. Oh yeah. Now Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson. Now Tyson's former trainer Cus Amato famously prophesied that the two would one day meet for the championship of the world. And when Cus said that, neither one of them was even professional fighters, right? And Cus D'Amato said that Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis would meet for the heavyweight championship of the world one day when they both were still amateurs. Yep, he was right. But it came almost a decade too late. First, Tyson's stint in prison in the early 90s got in the way, right? That got in the way of a lot of stuff. Then, after regaining the WBC championship in 1995, Tyson opted to pay Lewis $4 million in step-aside money so he could fight WBA champion Bruce Seldom instead. Anybody gonna take $4 million in step-aside? $4 million to do nothing? Give it here. You gotta go in there and take no punishment. You ain't gotta train, none of that stuff. $4 million? So yeah. So Lennox took that. And then Mike vacated the belt rather than defend against Lewis. He must not really didn't want to fight Lennox. And then, before he got a chance to fight Lewis, he was beaten by Holyfield. So, like I was saying, a whole lot got in the way of that fight. But it finally happened, 2002. Now, it was still a massive event. But by that time, Mike was a shell of his former self by then. Yeah, 2002. Yep, that's another one that got away from us. And I just looked at the clock. It was 3 o'clock. Now it's almost 3:30. I told you. This time is going by. Something is not right up there. They did something up there in space and they got the Earth turning around fast. I told y'all. Y'all gonna see I'm right one day. Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield. Think about it. The Earth turning faster. Seconds gonna be faster. Minute, hour, days, weeks, months. Everything gonna speed up. But the government ain't gonna tell us. They got it turning faster, but they don't know how to fix it. Right? That's what's going on. Yeah. My wife think I'm crazy too. Just like y'all. But next is Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield. But that was a fast half hour. Okay, Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield. Now the best laid plans always go, not always, but the best laid plans can go awry, as they say. At least they do if you schedule a Tyson versus Holyfield multi-million-dollar showdown. But forget to send the memo to James Buster Douglas. Let me read that again. The best laid plans go awry, as they say. At least they do if you schedule a Tyson versus Holyfield multi-million-dollar showdown. but forget to send a memo to James Buster Douglas. Oh, Buster Douglas said, I didn't get the memo. He ruined that first one, didn't he? Yeah. Tyson had agreed to meet Holyfield in 1990. And all he had to do was get past a 40-1 long shot, Buster Douglas. But Douglas shocked the world, wrecking the planned mega fight between Tyson and Holyfield. Right? Yeah, they forgot to send Buster the memo. I like that. But Tyson and Holyfield did finally meet in 1996, like 6 years later. And this time it was Evander's turn to shock the world. Many will argue that Holyfield always had Tyson's number, but who can really say what would have happened if Douglas hadn't gotten away 6 years earlier, right? That was before prison and everything, then, remember? So Mike went through a lot in those 6 years. So who's to say what would have happened if, Buster hadn't gotten away? If they should have sent Buster that memo. Right? And if I tell him not to send Buster the memo, Buster knocked Mike's ass out. Oh boy, that's crazy. Didn't send Buster the memo. That was a good one. Yeah. Buster did not get the memo that Tyson was he's supposed to be just a warm up for Tyson and Holyfield. Buster definitely didn't get that one. Okay. Next is Roy Jones versus Joe Calzaghe. Yeah. Roy Jones versus Joe Calzaghe. Okay. Now, the long and sometimes disappointing reign of super middleweight champ Calzaghe was eventually punctuated with fine wins over Jeff Lacey and Mikkel Kessler. And he ended his career by scalping two great American names at light heavyweight, Bernard Hopkins and Roy Jones. But neither was the Bernard Hopkins or the Roy Jones when they fought Calzaghe. B-Hop was in his 50s, wasn't he? Come on, man. That's kind of disingenuous there. But while both wins were welcome additions to the Welshman's record, okay, they could have meant so much more had they taken place years earlier. That's right. Yeah, they would have. At the time they happened, when B-Hop was 50 and that wasn't the same Roy. He had been knocked out by Tarver by then, and he wasn't ever the same after that. Yeah. So the wins would have he got them on their resume, but they would have looked much better if they had come years earlier. Right? Yeah. Much better. It was supposed to take place in 2002. And Jones even called Calzaghe out after defeating another Brit, Clinton Woods. But then he went up to heavyweight instead. Okay. How you gonna call the man out, then move up? Now they finally fought in 2008. Okay. Jones was 39, had been knocked out twice by that point. Much diminished fighter, much diminished. Like I say, Calzaghe got those names on his resume, but it would have been meant much more if it had been earlier. Yeah. Because, B-Hop was in his 50s. Roy was damn near 40. So, yeah. But they on there. And it doesn't say on the resume it would have looked better years earlier. Just say their names is on there. So, somebody years from now looking at that will see that. Like, ooh, he got Roy Jones and B-Hop on his resume. Yeah. So impressive. Still impressive. Next is Bernard Hopkins versus Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, B-Hop and Roy. There they go. Yeah. Remo in the building. Hashtag Let's Talk Fashion. What's up, Remo? Another fire. Hashtag Let's Talk Fashion. I wasn't in there at the live when I had to watch it later because I was kind of busy this morning. But yeah, another great job by Remo. Hashtag Let's Talk Fashion. Hashtag JBT. That Remo. Same Remo from Rich Dreads. www.richdreads.com. That Remo. Salute, Remo. We just, like I was saying yesterday, we going over these fights. The ones that got away. Fights we wanted and didn't get, or we got them, needed a rematch. You know, ended in draws and stuff like that. Needed a rematch, didn't get the rematch. Even had one that we got the rematch and we wanted a trilogy. You know, as boxing fans, we never satisfied. But of course, we didn't get the trilogy, right? Then we had Cool Boy Monster, Bud and Earl. I call that the week that was because that was just crazy that week. We got two one-sided beatdowns. And after the first one, Cool Boy and Monster, we was like, well, we got Bud and Earl started. Ain't no way that's going to be like that. And lightning struck twice. I went over them in the beginning. But okay, this is Bernard Hopkins versus Roy Jones Jr. 2. This is 2. Okay, they fought twice. Now they met for the vacant IBF middleweight championship in 1993. A fight Jones won via clear decision, right? Now by 2002, they were widely regarded as the best two fighters in the world. B-Hop and Jones, yeah, early 2000s. And Jones had most of the belts at 175. B-Hop was at 160. Okay. Now, given the standing of both, a rematch seemed only natural. Instead, after both defended their belts in separate locations on the same night, fans were treated to a shouting match over the HBO airwaves, refereed by Larry Merchant. I remember that. Jones insisted on a bigger piece of the purse, but Hopkins refused, and the fight didn't happen. Yeah, I think they were supposed to fight twice, but when they did it, so they didn't fight at that time, but they eventually did in 2010. Now it was a sad spectacle. Okay, I don't even call that a fight. Both were in their 5th decade, and Roy's dazzling skills were shot to pieces. Yeah, that was great. That was nothing like it would have been if they would have had the rematch earlier when they were supposed to have it. Yeah. But there you have it. The ones that got away. And tomorrow is going to be the fixes in. Okay. Fights that were clearly fixed. The mob had his hand deep in there then. People went to prison and stuff. A couple people testified to Congress. We got like 30 minutes. Yeah. What do you say, Remo? What happened? Zab versus Mosley? Okay, yeah. A Zab injury. I don't know what happened with that one. Yeah, that's another one. You're right, Remo. That's another one. Sugar Shane and Zab Judah. Did Zab get hurt or something, Remo? Is that what happened? Yeah, that's a good fight too. Well, back then, yeah. Zab versus Sugar Shane. Excellent fight. Yeah, tomorrow is going to be the fixes in Thursday. And then this week we're starting our weekly profile every Friday. The first one is going to be Joe Gans. No, not Joe Gans, Joe Dixon. He was the first black athlete to ever win a world championship. First black boxer to win a world championship. And the first black athlete, okay? Win a world championship in any sport. Joe Dixon, we're going to talk about him Friday. Yeah. He started his career in the 1800s and he ended it like 1908, early 1900s. Yeah. Yeah. He was way back there. He gets credit for starting the the footwork in boxing. Because remember back then, the round started, the referee told you come out and toe the mark, and that's where they stayed right there for the whole round, towing the mark, swinging. Joe Dixon is credited for starting footwork. Okay, he didn't have a lot of power and stuff, so he got tired of standing there towing the mark, getting knocked out. So Joe said, "I'm gonna move around this ring, right?" So yeah, he's credited with that, with inventing footwork in boxing. Yeah, you're gonna find out tomorrow. Joe Dixon. Because remember, back in the 1800s, you come out there and toe that mark, and that's where you stayed for the majority of the round, was right there swinging, wailing away. Joe said, "No, I'm gonna put some footwork in this stuff. I'm not gonna stand right there and slug it out with y'all big guys." So yeah, and that's who the profile, our first weekly profile, is gonna be on, Joe Dixon, tomorrow. Yeah, I was looking at it. Oh, here we go. Remo. Judah was scheduled to fight Shane Mosley on May 31st, 2008 at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. But it was postponed after Judah needed 50 stitches in his right arm after slipping in his bathroom and smashing through a glass shower door. That ain't funny. I can laugh because he okay now. Damn, Zab. He slipped in his bathroom and smashed through the glass shower door. Got 50 stitches and the fight was called off. Wow. I did not know that, Remo. Thanks. Damn. That's what happened. You was right. Zab got injured. What an injury. You all say don't laugh, but he's okay. You always make sure the person okay, then you can laugh, Right. So yeah. That's crazy. 50 stitches. Wow. I did not know that, Remo. You always talking about you're a casual. You coming up with history like that, Remo. Stop it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's what it says. He slipped in his bathroom and smashed through the glass shower. He must have hit hard, man. Smashed right through it. That's some thick glass on them shower doors, man. Yeah. Zab came through there. And he must have his arm got 50 stitches. Wow. I wonder why they never rescheduled it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I wonder why they never rescheduled it. Man. That's crazy. That is good and crazy there. Damn. Sad. Yeah, but that's what happened, Remo. You were correct. They were scheduled to fight. Zab got injured. To review, he slipped in his bathroom and smashed through a glass shower door and got 50 stitches in his arm. That must have hurt. But he's okay. Yeah, I wonder why they never rescheduled it though. Yeah, that's a good question there. Now this weekend, let's see what we got this weekend, since we got like a little bit of time before we get to The Voice, about 25 minutes before we get to The Voice. Just do boxing. Now, I think there's supposed to be a part 2 on the Shakira interview. Did he have it yet? Because I missed it. I hope it wasn't yesterday because I missed Just Do yesterday. I had a previous engagement. Yeah, they never ran it back, Remo. I wonder why. Now, I think we got Maxie Priest and William Cepeda this weekend. Remember Maxie Priest beat George Kambosos and he cheated the man? This third is the 16th, right? Yeah. Lightweight, 12 rounds. Must be some kind of eliminator or something. It's 12 rounds. Yeah. Okay. That's from Las Vegas. Then they got another card from the UK too. A bunch of UK fighters. Oh, hard-hitting Joe Joyce is on there. I got to see that. I like to see Joe fight because that might end at any moment. Like Ed called him the Juggernaut. Joe Joyce. Yeah, he's fighting Saturday. Joe Joyce. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get the link in there. I was just looking at these fights. Here we go. Yeah. So that's pretty good. Maxie Priest. I'm trying to find out who else is on that card before. But they don't say. Yeah. I wonder why not. That was a bad left hook. ESPN will say who's on this. ESPN used to give you the whole card. Bad left hook just give you the main event. That's crazy. You want to watch the fight, you're not just watching it for the main event. You want to see the whole card, right? Okay. We got some good stuff coming up, though. Oh, we got some fights Friday, too. All right. Oh, that's UFC. Damn, okay. I got all excited. Some fights Friday. But we got some more. Another top right card a couple Fridays from now. Oscar Valdez. We got a women's undisputed fight on it. Liam Davies. That's back in England. Okay, here's the top right card. Wait a minute. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. March 16th. They got the UK card first. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Okay, also on the card, Floyd Schofield back in action this Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. Tristan Carlcreef, Floyd Schofield, I said him. Eric Kreese. A lot of young, Top Rank is full of young fighters. A lot of the young fighters on this card. But the big names are William Zepeda, Maxie Priest, Floyd Schofield. He's fighting at Esturi Suero, never heard of him. 10 rounds lightweight. Floyd looked good in his last fight. Wasn't it like a second round stoppage or something? In his last fight? I'm letting time slip away. Wasn't it like a second round stoppage in Floyd's last fight? Yeah. So he's back in action Saturday. All right. When Bud is going to fight again. It's been since last July. That's a lot of time passing by. I hate to see Boots let all this time pass by too. BN Boxing News made a good point the other day. Boots is not getting the big whole high profile fights he wants, but fight somebody, man. You know? Fight a lower level fighter, just stay busy. Don't just sit around waiting to get the big names. You can't get the big names, fight somebody, fight a little name, right? That was a great point, BN Boxing News. You know? Don't just sit around and be idle. You got to stay active, man. You know? So, don't just sit there saying, I can't get Bud, I can't get Keith. Fight somebody else. But I think he's on, I'm hearing he's on the Cinco de Mayo card. So that'll be from July all the way to May, though. That's almost a year, 10 months. Can't keep going 10 months in between fights, Booth. You're a young man. You need to be in there fighting. Lose your edge that way. Mess around and go in there and get knocked off. You know? You can spar all you want, but nothing is like actually being in that ring with somebody throwing them punches back with bad intentions. You know? Yeah. So yeah, I hope Boots pick it up after this next fight. If it is in May, fight again this year at least. Because that 10 months in between fights every time, that's not good, man. You know? But what you do in between them and everything counts too, you know. But still, I'd rather see a fighter fighting, man. I don't care how good you train or what you do in between. Get your ass in the ring and fight. Right? So I just hope Boots picks it up some. If he's on that Cinco de Mayo card, it'll be 10 months in between fights. Yeah, that's too long. I remember in the old days. Sugar Ray Robinson and Jake LaMotta. Remember they fought 6 times? Now they fought for the second time February 5th, 1943. They fought for the third time February 24th, 1943. 3 weeks apart. Yeah. 3 weeks. I didn't make a mistake on it. Yeah, they're same year, 3 weeks apart. They fought each other. So if you're looking at film, they didn't have to look at no film for that one because you had just fought the man 3 weeks ago. Both were in Detroit. Of course, they were in the same place because neither one of them probably never left, 3 weeks ago. But yeah, and now you got guys going 10 months, 4 years, Keith Thurman, in between fights. Them guys fought. That's what was so impressive about Joe Louis, not just the 25 straight title defenses, but he had 23 of them were stoppages. 15 of them was inside of 5 rounds. Yeah, 15 of them were inside of 5 rounds. Six of them was in the first round. That's greatest type stuff. When I read reading that, I was saying, oh no, I might have to put Joe Louis, replace Muhammad Ali as the greatest with Joe Louis, man. Most people just look at the 25 straight stoppages, but you gotta look inside what he was doing. And he was fighting sometimes months, back-to-back months, 7, 8 times a year during those years, man. Seriously. So you gotta look inside of those 25 defenses, man, to see the amazing part of it. That's amazing, man. A couple times he fought in June, then he fought in July, fought again in September. I'm saying 6, 7, 8 times a year, man. Not just beating them, stopping them. Only 2 people in all those, and that was for an entire decade he held the title. For the whole decade of the 40s. And in that time, only 2 people went the distance with him. 2 people. And a lot of time, all this time I was saying that he was the only one to have a decade, but he wasn't. It was a guy down at strawweight, had the 90s. If I can get his name real quick. I just found that out over the weekend when I was reviewing the strawweight, doing my little history on strawweight I did Monday. Yeah. Joe Louis ain't the only one had a decade, so I gave y'all that wrong information all that time. I'm sorry. Supposed to have it right, box historian. The mayor of YouTube gonna take your title box historian from you if you don't get this stuff right, Cass. You still out there, Mr. Mayor? You're not taking my title, are you? That was my one mistake for this year. Okay? But who was it? The guy won, he was champion for the entire decade. Ricardo Lopez, that's him. Ricardo Lopez had the 90s. He was the champion for the entire decade and he went 51-0. But the reason that Floyd stopped at 50, Ricardo had a draw on his record. He had 1 draw. Yeah. Other than that, Floyd would have had to go for 52. I guess they look at a draw as a blemish, right? Yeah. It's not a loss, but it's not a win either. So Ricardo went 51-0-1. Yeah. Never lost a fight in the 90s. I mean, never lost a fight, period. But he was champion all through the 90s. He had 22 straight title defenses, right behind Joe Louis on that too. Joe Louis had 25. Ricardo had 22. Yep. Excuse me. Yeah, Ricardo had 22. Ricardo Lopez. 105-pounder. Bad. The champion at 108, I forgot his name. Saman, he had a real bad last name. Saman, I think he was Japanese. He was dominating at 108, so he said, let me go down here and challenge. But, only 3 pounds. They went up and down in them divisions. Still do, I guess. But Saman said, let me go down here and challenge Ricardo. See what he about. Can't nobody beat him down there. Saman went down there and got stopped in 2 rounds and went on back to 108. Bad move, Saman. Yeah. Ricardo Lopez was a bad man. Look him up. Bad. And he had one guy that had his number. The guy never beat him, but this guy gave him his draw and got a split decision. The only time Ricardo didn't either stop a person or get unanimous decision was this one guy that got the draw with him and actually one-on-one judge's card over. Yep. Let me go back to 105, man. I gotta know it because that is a good fight. Yeah, when I talk to Aunt McQueen again, that's what I'm gonna see if I can get him to break down too. This guy, Ricardo Lopez. Yeah, you're not out there, are you, Aunt? And let me see, what fight is this? Yeah, head strawweight right here. Yeah, this guy went. He got a draw with Ricardo Lopez, and he actually won on one judge's card. Only one to ever do that. Ricardo was just dominant, man. His dominance at 105, only second to Joe Louis's dominance at heavyweight in the 40s. Ricardo Lopez's dominance in the 90s. Joe Louis had the most dominating run in the history. Ricardo is number 2 at 105. Okay. Oh man, well, I can't find what I'm looking for when I'm looking for it. I done came up too far again. Strawweight, right? That's what I said. 105. Yeah, we winding down to the voice now, though, everybody. It's been another good Cast Sports. I'm gonna find this guy's name for you before I go, though. I see strawweight, but why the hell can't find the damn guy's name? That was Monday's show. Something ain't right. Oh, here it is. Okay. Now, Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua ain't fighting no damn strawweight, Cass. What are you talking about? Oh, I went over to fight that day here. Yeah, Ricardo Lopez. I don't know the guy's name. I'll have it for you one of these days. Yeah. But I'm going to get it to Ant. We're going to break down that fight. I'll find out. Yeah, but this guy, yeah. He had Ricardo Lopez's number. He never beat him. But he could put the only blemish on his record, which was a draw. He was the only one to ever hold Ricardo from a unanimous decision. He lost a split decision to Ricardo. He actually won on one judge's card. Okay, yeah. That's the good fight to break down. Appreciate you, Justin James. Yeah. We're going to get ready to get out of here in a minute. Everybody have a great day. Appreciate you for stopping by again. Everybody hit the like button for me, please. Which I know you always do. Yeah, likes are looking great. I usually get around 20. They're going to go up one day. I'm going to be getting 200 one day. Just not yet. But I like my 20. I got like a core group of 8 to 10 people. I don't care if it stay like this. Because they all knowledgeable boxing fans, respectful boxing fans. You don't have nobody here threatening to kill each other or anything like that. Say something about Devin again, I'm going to come to your house and kill you. No, you don't get that here. So let's see what we got. Remo, hashtag Let's Talk Fashion, hashtag JBT. D for the win. BN Boxing News. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT. Mike Masick. Thomas Hill, hashtag JBT. Justin James, hashtag JBT. The Boxing Menu Podcast. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. A lot of hashtag JBTs to appear too. I like it. I like it a lot. But I appreciate everybody for continuing to rock with my growing channel. Okay? Everybody have a great day. I'll be back at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Because I'm 2 o'clock shorty. Right? I'm also the box historian. Everybody have a great day. The voice coming up in about 5 minutes. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm out.